Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a generation since I last uploaded a video. A lot many events have happened in the meantime. The greatest driver of all time, Logan Sargent, has decided to leave Williams because they were too slow for his talent. Williams have replaced him with Franco Colapinto instead of Mick Schumacher and Liam Lawson because cash matters.
This is business. I invested the money.
As a tribute to Access Power partnership from the 1900s, Andrea Kimi Antonelli Choti Luli has been signed by the regime for the next year. Strong rumors of Aero God Adrian Newey's switch to Aston Martin. Jack Doohan has been confirmed by Alpine for 2025. Carlos Sainz, after a millennium, has decided to eventually join Williams. Is that enough of a recap? I'm sure I might have missed out on other major stories like the Pumpernickel Cito file stalking on the Gamer Boy. Now, before moving on to Monza, let's have a small recap of what the first half of the season was. McLaren F1 team, based out of Woking on the outskirts of London, UK, winner of multiple driver and constructor championship. They used to have the streets. They dominated the game with a mix of style, speed and pure talent, just like Michael Jordan. Now, McLaren's 2000s and 2010s era could be summed up as a masterclass in how to trip over your own shoelaces while leading the race. From the infamous Spygate to the cringe-worthy Honda partnership, they have come a long way now. They are still like Jordan, playing baseball, still legends, but everyone is waiting for them to pick up the right ball again. Now, after almost a decade of mediocrity, they hired first Zach Brown to head the team, which had its fair share of mediocrity initially, but then they got this guy, under whom the team has seen a tremendous rise in just under a year. The year started off with everyone expecting Max to run off with the championship. After first set of upgrades, McLaren and Norris got the first win of the season, which got the attention of the other major teams. Other than Pando Porras, they had one another coming driver called Oscar Piastri, who had his own set of drama before joining the team in 2023. Oscar won in Hungary for the first time before the summer break. Lando Norris then won in Netherlands after the summer break, and this actually got us to the situation that Max and Red Bull were in great danger. Red Bull now seemed to be the third best team on tracks like Spa and Zandvoort, which had been their strongholds in the last few years. Perez had to be retained because money was important.
This is business. I invested the money.
Gamer Boy seems to act very edgy every race because the car isn't responding as well as he wished. But now we are on to the Temple of Speed for the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Pando Porras gets the pole and McLaren gets a front row lockout with Verstappen qualifying 7th and Sergio Perez 8th. History tells us that the pole sitter usually gets the win at Monza unless safety car comes into the game. But Pando Porras said once more, "Hold my pole." He survives the first turn, the second turn, the third turn, but falls prey to a brilliant overtake by Piastri on the fourth turn and eventually loses another position to Charles Leclerc. They both paid to Hearts. Leclerc is undercut, and eventually it was all set for the McLaren 1-2 like it should be. But did it happen?
No.
McLaren decided to pit once more, leading to them coming out behind the Ferrari drivers. The Ferrari drivers were losing time due to older tires, but for a track with 77% straights, it is actually difficult to make huge gains. The McLarens are unsuccessful, and to everyone's surprise, Charles Leclerc in Ferrari wins the Italian Grand Prix. The Tifosi came and everyone celebrated. Everyone was happy except for two drivers, Pando Porras and Oscar Piastri, both for their own reasons. At this point, Red Bull is not even in the picture. They have reverted their upgrades and wish for better progress in the coming races. But the biggest chokers here are McLaren. They have easily the best car in the grid, based out of London, Woking, led for 3/4 of the race and then choked at the end. Reminds me of another team from London. It's not so happy going around McLaren Twitter. The fan base is divided. Who is this account pretending to be? But of course, Lando is the whiny brat child, while Oscar is always so calm and compound and has the winning mentality. McLaren are absolutely crazy for not inverting Norris and Piastri at the end. Awful decision. Piastri actually ruined McLaren's race. Now those were from the Lando fangirls. Let's move on to something from Oscar's end. When we watched Lando struggle for years in that McLaren, He came so close in 21 and then finally he got that first win last season. And then we watch as Lando is asked to let the slower McLaren through so Piastri can have his first win too. The reaction isn't surprising. How can Norris expect Piastri to be his Bottas if he's not even close to being Hamilton? Lando and Piastri should take each other out in Baku so Ferrari can overtake them in the constructors and Max clinches that fourth World Driver Championship. Neither is Lando Norris Hamilton and nor is Oscar Piastri Valtteri Bottas or Checo Perez. The problem here with McLaren is that both the drivers, even with the fastest car on the track, aren't a sure shot number one for their team. Even though Norris is superior, he at times with his race starts has acted as the junior one. Piastri shouldn't be held responsible for how he manages his race if he is managing to overtake Norris. On the other hand, these Pantoporis bitches need to calm down. If Norris doesn't want to get jumped by Piastri, just drive faster. On the other hand, the McLaren bosses aren't making it any easier either, bringing up these fancy terms like Papaya rules. See, all champion drivers have had the best car of their generations, yes, and were certified clear number one of the team. There has to be a Valtteri Bottas to Lewis Hamilton, a Checo Perez to Max Verstappen, a Mark Webber to Sebastian Vettel, a Rubens Barrichello and Eddie Irvine to Michael Schumacher. Two good drivers can't survive together. Now, when the team has realized that Piastri can't get the win anyways, they should have just simply ordered for them to let Norris pass for the second position. Now that's an easy 3 points gained on Max Verstappen, who is currently struggling, but don't know for how long. The same team asked in Hungary for Norris to give away his position and the beta Norris allowed it. In Monza, they haven't prioritized once more and let Piastri Fire get second, which is just idiotic. Remember 2007 when Sigma Alonso and Lewis Midfielden ended up with similar points, having the fastest car? But then Kimi Raikkonen got the championship. So learn from your history, Papaya F1.